I think one thing that can really give you an image of what it actually means to compete is if we look at Navy SEALs, some of the most fierce and respected warriors on the entire planet. When talking to Navy SEALs, what they say is the ones that make it through training, what they call buds, the ones that make it through training aren't necessarily the ones that you think would make it through training. Like when you look at these people come out and like there's these big, burly, muscle-bound guys and there's these like elite college athletes that come in and you'd think that they would be the tough ones because they're so big and they're so strong. They're so big on the outside. And what Navy SEALs say is those people that are big on the outside, they're usually small on the inside. And what they found is it's oftentimes skinny and sometimes scrawny people that make it through Navy SEAL training because they've had to go through obstacles and challenges their entire life. And when you are physically and emotionally exhausted and spent, it is not your muscles that are going to allow you to push through. It's your mind and your heart. And what they say is it's oftentimes those people that things have come easy to them their whole life, that have never had to dig so deep because they've never been at the bottom of a hole. It's those people that quit and tap out. Whereas if someone makes it through Navy SEAL training, they are a fierce competitor. They can tap into reserves of resolve and focus when no one else can. And those are the warriors that you want to count on as teammates. And you don't build that stuff in the moment of the test. Like no one's building that resolve as they're going through buds. They either have it or they don't. That exposes them. And if you want to be that type of Navy SEAL warrior on the basketball court, well, you need to learn how to compete like Kobe did. Kobe was notorious for competing against himself because there was no one else in the league at that time that worked as hard as he did. And so he really didn't have any competition when it came to commitment and work. And so every year he's competing against himself. One year in the summer of 2002, he was told he wasn't a very good three-point shooter. And he was the best three-point shooter on his team. But nevertheless, he dedicated himself to making 2,000 threes per day, every single day of that summer, just competing against himself. He was already an all-star. He was already a champion, but he wasn't satisfied because there was something in his game that he could make better. This is what it means to be a true competitor. The best way to improve is to compete ferociously like a warrior, like a Navy SEAL. Compete ferociously against your best competition. You yesterday. That's your best competition. That's the one that can push you, that you're the most evenly matched with, and the one that it's most important to beat. So that's why we're measuring backwards. Every single time, we're not going to let you get away with it. This is pounding the stone, the hard but necessary work before we can have a breakthrough. So we're going to keep pounding that stone. We're going to keep measuring backwards, and you're going to keep competing against you yesterday. You're not going to always win. You're not going to win every competition you're in, but if you compete, you'll win in the long run. And that's what we're really trying to do. That's what we're trying to learn. And I'm excited that you're able to do that. Self-eval time, okay? Self-eval time. How hard are you willing to compete against yourself for the rest of this week? Just write a sentence right now. Write in your notebook, write a sentence. How hard are you willing to be? I am willing to compete against myself like a Navy SEAL has to compete to make it through training. I'm willing to compete against myself as hard as Kobe Bryant competed against himself. I'm willing to compete against myself until I collapse from exhaustion. I'm willing to compete against myself by taking very detailed notes and scores so I can know if I'm getting better. All of that's competition. Write it down. How hard are you able to compete against yourself?